welcome to the final stretch here on MaxPreps.com. I'm Zack, Poff. He is Chris Stonebraker. Now, Stoney, crazy to think NFL draft already tomorrow.
7 rounds, 32 teams. Do the math. 224 players are turning their dreams of getting drafted one day into reality starting tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Great time of the year. This is the time of the year, though, for fans like yourself of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that they get to kind of see their future and kind of get this new hope a little bit.
And I tell you what, since my squad's got the '1 pick, I'll go ahead and start this off. Now, most mock drafts have this guy going #1 overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is Mr. Jameis Winston, the 6'4", 230-pound quarterback from Alabama, led Hueyton High School to a state championship during his junior season and finished his high school career with nearly 10,000 total yards. At Florida State, Winston became the youngest player ever to win the Heisman Trophy, and he also led Florida State to a national title in 2014. Winston finished his college career 26-1, and I know whatever NFL organization takes him is hoping he does the same thing on Sundays.
I would agree with you on that one. Now, everybody is trying to trade up for the #2 pick. Cleveland is saying they would give up their first-round picks to move up. San Diego might be trading Phillip Rivers to move up in the draft as well. All could be to get the opportunity to draft this guy, St. Louis High and Hawaii's Heisman Trophy-winning QB Marcus Mariota, who went on to be a 3-year starter at the University of Oregon. As a senior, Marcus threw for 2,597 yards, including 32 touchdowns against only 5 interceptions, while guiding the Crusaders to an 11-1 record and a state title. Even back then, he showed his athleticism, rushing the ball 60 times for 455 yards and 7 scores.
Now, sticking with Pac-12 guys, and even though he might not be the #1 overall pick, Leonard Waves might be the best player overall in the 2015 draft class. The 6'5", 300-pound native of Daytona Beach, Florida, balled at Mainland High School, and during his senior season, he had over 100 tackles, 19.5 tackles for loss, and 10.5 sacks, and was rated the 3rd best defensive end in the 2012 class on 24/7 Sports. Now, during his time at SC, over 200 tackles and 21 sacks. Can't wait to see this guy at the next level, man.
No way. And as far as names, if you were just to go off high school hype, there might not be a bigger name in this year's draft. Just looking at his physical tools, the 6'5", 225-pound wide receiver with 4.49 speed and a 33-inch vert would be a first-rounder right out of high school. I'm talking about Missouri/Oklahoma's Dorial Green-Beckham, who originally carved out a name for himself in the football scene at Hillcrest High in Springfield, Missouri, where he was named the MaxPreps 2010 Male Athlete of the Year as a sophomore. By the time he graduated in 2012, he owned the national receiving mark for a career, and during his senior year alone, he caught 119 passes for 2,233 yards and 24 touchdowns.
And heading into the draft, a lot of people are comparing him with the size and athleticism to Calvin Johnson, so maybe a little
And they're also throwing out there at Josh Gordon, so we'll see which one.
So we'll see which path he goes down. Now, you would think this next guy was an absolute beast on the offensive line for all 4 years in high school. Not the case, and that is Iowa's Brandon Scherff, who actually played quarterback his first 2 years of high school football, and this kid could absolutely sling the rock. Now, during his sophomore campaign, threw for over 1,200 yards, but during his junior and senior seasons, he moved over to the offensive line. Rest is history. The 6'5", 320-pound left tackle was a unanimous consensus All-American and took home the Outland Trophy in 2014, which is given to the best interior lineman in college football. And our guy Pete Prisco from CBS Sports has him going #18 overall to the Kansas City Chiefs in his latest mock draft. And I really think Brandon Scherff's going to be one of the best offensive linemen to come out of this 2015 NFL draft. Maybe the best footwork out of all offensive linemen in this draft class. Looking forward to see Brandon Scherff. I don't think we're going to see any trickeration plays, though, where he lines up a quarterback.
And, Zach, the draft is all about cool storylines. Scherff being a high school QB and now an offensive lineman, great, right?
Awesome.
Well, but what about a little tidbit
What
here
you
that
got
I'm going
for
to
me?
throw out? Melvin Gordon and Trey Waynes could become just the 5th set of high school teammates drafted in the first round in the same year since 1990, and the first set from Big Ten schools. The two best friends might have been split after attending high school at Bradford High in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with Melvin going to Wisconsin and Trae going to Michigan State, but the first round might bring them back together. They will for sure, though, be the first Kenosians since 1987 to be drafted in general.
And we get a look at Trey Waynes right here, and he's probably going to be the #1 cornerback taken off the board tomorrow. But it was a cool story you were telling me earlier about how Melvin Gordon really helped Trey Waynes out on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, they're on the same team, and it seemed like Melvin was kind of the big dog, right? The alpha dog out there. He was the running back on the offensive side of the ball. He was getting a lot of attention through the newspapers and around the city and the state. But in the end, even though he knew he was getting recruited a lot and he didn't really need any more attention, he'd still go to the camps and the combines with his best friend Trae just to help him get more looks. And that's really cool. That's what a best friend's about. And they still have the competition today and comparing each other. And if they go in the first round, that's a really great accomplishment for both of those families.
And you can almost guarantee neither guy would be where they're at right now if it wasn't for the other one pushing them as they grew up too. That's all the time we have here on MaxPreps.com. He is Chris Stonebraker. I'm Zack Poff here on the final stretch. MaxPreps.com, America's source for high school sports.